I talk a lot in fora like this about why I give my books away electronically for free. Does everyone know I give my books away electronically for free simultaneous with their publication? And I'm kind of bored of talking about that. I want to talk about a kind of bigger picture issue related to the future of books that has a lot to do with why I give my books away for free. I want to talk about an existential threat to the book. First, let's talk about what the book's greatest asset is. And it's I think, a penumbra of sentimental book fetishism. That's the thing that books really have going for them. I mean, is there anyone here who could bring themselves to burn a book, even a bad book? That we venerate books. Well, one or two actually. We venerate books well beyond their intrinsic value. Because, I've been a bookseller, I worked in libraries, I've cataloged libraries, and I'm here to tell you, there are books out there that if they were burned would be no great loss to the human race. But even as I said it, the words turned to ashes in my mouth. Because the idea of burning books or endorsing burning books just gives me the willies, right? It's just like, oh, well, our dead relatives are really just meat, and if you leave a dead cow, why not a dead person? It feels wrong. There's a taboo that is as old at least as the burning of the library in Alexandria when it comes to burning books. I find it hard to recycle phone books. I mean, just the thought of a book on a rubbish tip is really miserable. But today we're told that the future of the book isn't, I've skipped a page here. So we inherit books, we loan books, we display books. Who here has ever felt an obscure feeling of warm kinship for someone they saw in public transit reading a book they loved? We buy books and we own books. But today we're told that the future of the books is licensing books. And those license terms will be governed firstly by contract law and then backstopped by anti-copying technology, digital rights management technology. So we know what this looks like. We know what it means to license your media instead of buying your media. Has anyone here ever bought a song from the iTunes store using an iPhone? Did you read the 26,000 words of user license agreement? Because that's how long the EULA is. Now that book with the Slim Greenland, Down in the Magic Kingdom, my first novel, is 42,000 words long. So the license agreement necessary to buy a 3-minute song is 26,000 words long. If you buy a video from Amazon Unbox, you don't really buy it, you license it. And the license terms include such delightful things as the right to delete those videos from your hard drive arbitrarily after you've bought them, even if you've done nothing wrong, to scan all the files on your hard drive and report back on what's there to Amazon, to force you to also put stuff on your hard drive without your permission, like advertisements and so on. So that's what a licensing regime looks like. And of course, with the Kindle, which is Amazon's book reader, we've seen what this will mean for books. It has all of these anti-features that we associate with other forms of electronic distribution, and then some. So all of you remember when Amazon handed a huge gift to those of us who object to digital rights management by deleting copies of 1984 without their permission. And they claim they won't do it again unless they have to. Actually, Amazon won't tell you what the Kindle can and can't do. And by you, I mean me. And by me, I mean my publisher. They won't tell anyone what the Kindle can and can't do, what anti-features it has. It turned out that they had the ability to remotely disable the text-to-speech feature, which was a feature wherein the Kindle would read aloud in a robot voice, read aloud the books that you bought from it. And this was, of course, a great value to people who had relatives who were visually impaired or who had physical disabilities, or just those of us who wanted to go to sleep with a robot reading us a little bit. But it also includes things that we know that it includes, things that it's advertised as including, is as a feature, is a restriction on playing Kindle books on non-Kindle devices. So there's the digital rights management technology that is a technical countermeasure to stop people from implementing Kindle book players on competing devices. And then there's contractual language that also prohibits playing Kindle books on non-Kindle devices. Now, these terms are set even if the publisher and the author, that is to say the people who hold those copyrights, object. These are terms that are set by the bookseller, not by the writer, not by the publisher, although they often blame the writer and the publisher, saying that they've demanded these anti-features. Now, in addition to these contractual measures, there's digital rights management technology. And digital rights management technology is this anti-copying stuff that you run up against. If you've ever hooked up two VCRs in serial and tried to record your wedding video from one to the other and found that it all came out scrambled because there was macrovision, that's what caused it. Or tried to tape off your kid's favorite video from a DVD so that you could take the video up to the cottage and play it on the VCR at the cottage, and it wouldn't work. That's digital rights management technology. Even if the contract is unenforceable, the digital rights, as a matter of law, the digital rights management might still enforce it. So even if they've made you sign something ridiculous in this 26,000 words, and does anyone here really think that a license agreement that runs to 26,000 words is being written in your interest? It still has this technical countermeasure that prevents you from undertaking it. More importantly, it makes it unlawful for other competitors to make devices that can break the DRM. Breaking DRM is itself illegal in most places. Not yet in Canada quite, but in most places in the world, breaking DRM is illegal, even if you're breaking it for a lawful purpose. Even if you're the person who holds the copyrights on the things inside the DRM, it's still illegal to break the DRM. Now, of course, it doesn't actually stop copying. It doesn't stop people who are determined to copy illegitimately. So, whenever I talk to publishers who say, well, we need DRM because it'll stop people from copying our ebooks, I say, behold the typist, right? Because we've been copying books for a long time without having to save them from one format to another. Google has just managed to make copies of every book ever made without them having to be in digital format to begin with.